welcome back everybody. This is Malik again, and we're going to continue with the realistic missions on Hack This Site. So we are now moving into realistic mission number 5. Damn telemarketers. Telemarketers are invading people's privacy, peace and quiet. Get the password for the administrative section of the site to delete their database and return the privacy of their victims. Okay. This is one of my favorite challenges. It's a really cool one, and it pulls some things that you've already done before, plus a little bit of new encryption. So let's take a look at it, what they're talking about. Yo, this is from Spiffomatic64. This is Spiffomatic64 from HackThisSite.org. I'm a bit of a hacker myself, as you can see, but I recently came across a problem I couldn't resolve. Lately I've been getting calls day and night from the telemarketing place. I've gone to their website and hacked it once, deleting all of their phone numbers so they wouldn't call me anymore. It was a temp fix, but they put the database back up, this time with an encrypted password. When I hacked them, I noticed everything they used was 10 years out of date, and the new password seems to be a message digest. I've done some research, and I think it could be something like a so-called hash value. I think you could somehow reverse engineer it or brute force it. I also think it would be a good idea to look around the server for anything that may help you. Okay, so they gave us a couple of hints here. The first hint, it seems to be a message digest. And the second one, it's a hash value, which means they're using encryption. And he even told us it was an encrypted password. Okay, let me first explain a hash value. When you use a machine, there's encryption and hashes are not the same thing. If me and you are communicating over a secure network, I can encrypt the data and send it to you. And you have a way of taking that encrypted data and decrypting it. Okay? So when we're talking encryption, it's not one way. Encrypted data is meant to be decrypted. Typically, you have one key or two keys. Two keys is more secure, one key will work. That's symmetric and asymmetric encryption. If we're dealing with, let's say, two keys, when me and you start to communicate, you send me your public key, I send you my public key. What that public key does is it encrypts data. The private key is the other key. That's the one that decrypts the data. That key's never transmitted. I keep my private key, you keep your private key. When you want to send me something, you encrypt it with my public key. The only key that can reverse it is my private key. That's encryption. Now, when they talk about a hash or a message digest, that's typically your passwords that you use in a domain. If you were able to pull, we call it the SAM file. If you were able to pull the SAM file from a machine, you will see the person's username. And beside their username, you will see a long value. That is a hash. There is no way to take that hash and turn it back into its real password. Now that's not saying we can't figure out what that hash is, but the way it's done is it's compared to a list of other hashes. If two hashes match, then the word that created that hash must match also. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. If if my password is, let's make it simple, my password is password, and I hash it using an algorithm, and I come back with ABCDEFG, and your password is password, and you encrypt it with the same type of algorithm, your hash value is going to be ABCDEFG. So what I'll take is I'll take your hash ABCDEFG and I'll run it to a list of known hashes. And if it finds ABCDEFG, it's going to take a look at the column that says, oh, what was the word that made that hash? And it's going to say, oh, well, the word was password. So technically it didn't break the hash. It just compared it. I know it may sound like splitting hairs, but it's a huge difference between encryption and hashes. Okay, so let's take a look at their website. So this is their website. Really all we need to do is get into their database. So they have a contact us link, add your name to our database so we can get hit with spam and all that stuff, remove your name so they can take us off the list but sell us to everybody else, and some links over here. Well, that's the password we want. Okay, well, before we look any further into this, let's take a look at like their news page. Okay, contact page. And there's even an administrator link down there. Which really doesn't take us anywhere. Okay. Home page takes us back home. So news, database, and not much on contact. So let's take a look at the news page while we're on it. Database is now available online again for administrators only. Google was grabbing links, so I've taken extra precautions. New services, website was hacked, database entries deleted, database is now online, website created and dedicated to my lovely girlfriend Haley. Okay. Actually, truthfully, if I see something like that, I would probably try that as a password. There is one line in here, if you know HTML, that can give us a little bit of information. That's this one here. Google was grabbing links. It shouldn't grabbing links that it shouldn't, so I have taken extra precautions. This is just the way Google works. If Google sees a page that is out on the internet, it will grab it and put it in its database unless you tell it not to. There's only one way to tell it not to. So that's one of the first things you need to check. How can I not have a search engine, a page indexed by a search engine? So you can Google that. There's a particular file that you're looking for. So that's step number one to do some research on. How not to index a page. You're looking for a file name. Okay? Now, so that's one thing you want to search for. The next one, we've done this hundreds of times. Well, not hundreds of times, but we've done this some other times. When you get to a page and you're not sure what to do, always look at the code. View the source. Okay, see there's not much on this page. There's not a lot of code. But we will see, here's the text, enter password, form action, secret, admin PHP. It's a password, the size of the field is 20, and it's a submit. But look, there's a folder there called secret. That could come in handy. Why don't we just jot that down on our handy little sheet of paper? Folder called secret. Wonder what's in there. Okay, so I'm going to give you just a little pause here. I'm going to actually give you two pauses in this one. This is just a little pause. First off, figure out how to get into that secret folder. And it's not that you have to do both, but it's good to know how to do this stuff. Google, like I mentioned before, how not to have one of your pages indexed. That's going to give you a page name too. Go into that page name and see what's inside of there, because both of these can come in handy. We don't need them both to solve this mission, but it's good to know. Eventually you're going to need it. So here's the first dramatic pause. Okay, so first off, since we're already here on the page called secret, or the submit page, why don't we just take a look again? Remember that the folder is called secret. Remember, we can always go up here, and I'm just going to type in secret with the /. That's going to move me into that folder. Nothing more than directory transversal. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. I'm in a folder I'm not supposed to be able to see. Well, the admin PHP page was the page that we looked at a minute ago. That's the black page with just a box in it. But they do have one called admin.bak.php. That's their backup. What if we were to click on that? Oh, looky at this. That, my friends, is what we call a hash value. You want to copy that. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, all right, great, I got it from there. How come you told me that whole garbage about finding out, that other page? How come I had to research how not to get a page indexed? Well, that can help you out too, because with just that hash value, you don't really have enough information. Could you figure it out? Yes. Will it take you longer? Yes. Because there's multiple ways to hash something. And unless you know the algorithm, you're not going to get the answer. So, going in the other way, the page where they told us that Google was grabbing links, it shouldn't have, so I've taken extra precautions. Well, he took extra precautions by writing a file called robots.txt. This is a very simple text document that says absolutely nothing but disallow, and then folders that you do not want pages indexed from. If this was not put in here, that secret folder, that whatever pages are inside of there, will be on the Google search engine. And same with lib. Well, we already took a look at secret. We know what's in there. Let's take a look and see what's in lib. That's their library. Oh, looky. There's their hash. So we could download their hash. But we really don't need to download it. We've already copied it into our clipboard. But click on it. Okay, most of this is going to look like garbage. But we can glean some information from it. If you just continue to scroll down through all of the what looks like garbage but is really a hash, you will eventually find out where it starts to just be regular old text. Right around here. Free BSD, source lib, CSU, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. MD update, MD already done, MD update, that's a message digest. Called it a legal count value. Uh-oh, look at this. MD4. Okay. And it's listed inside of here a couple of times, I think 3 times, where they talk about MD4. Well, why is this big? There it is. There's another one right there, MD4.c. Well, why is this important? Again, there's multiple ways to hash, especially nowadays. MD4 is really unheard of now. We have MD5, we have AES, we have SHA, we have SHA-1, we have SHA-512, we have SHA-1024, or SHA-512, we have RSA. I mean, tons of ways. Unless you know the algorithm, you'll never get the answer. Okay, so we do know it was encrypted using MD4, and we have a copy of the hash. Now, how do we find out what the password was that made that hash? Well, there's hundreds of ways to do it. You can use Cain and Abel. You can use Hydra. You can use Rainbow Crack. You can use, well, for MD4 you can't use my favorite site. That only starts at MD5 now. Instead of downloading some software, what I would do, especially for something like an MD4, I am just going to crackstation.net. It will tell you down here at the bottom, and this is actually really cool because if you're unsure of what type it is, this will look through all of them. It looks through LM, NTLM, MD2, MD4, MD5, MD5 hex, MD5 half, SHA-1, 224, 256, 384, 512, RIPE. Looks through a ton of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to paste that hash value in there. Then we have to come over here and type in this great CAPTCHA, cheap date, and click on the button that says crack hashes. Again, I'm on crackstation.net. Click on crack hashes. There's the hash, there's the type, MD4, there's the answer. 75386. Now, again, it did not take this, look in it, figure it out, and reverse it to that answer. What it did, it looked through their huge amount of table of MD4 hashes, and it found that exact hash from what we call a rainbow table, a lookup table. And it found the exact one, and it returned the result. So we're just going to copy the result, go back to, I'm just going to back up a couple of pages. I'm going to go to database, I'm going to paste it in and submit it. And it's connecting, and boom, you've already completed. Now mine came back with an error because I've already done it, but it says you've already completed mission 5. You're going to get the hooray, hey, congratulations, you completed the mission. So there you go, my friends. That is a typical password crack. The trick is, of course, not only capturing the hash, but finding out the algorithm that they use to do it, or what program do you want to use to bust it open. I typically bust them open online now. I do have my own set of rainbow tables that I'll do them locally, and it can do it just as quick, but why load up my own rainbow tables when I'm already online anyway, and there's sites online that can bust them just as quick. Alright, so hope you enjoyed that one. That's one of my favorites. Let's take a look at what we got next, because coming up next we're going to start getting into some hard ones. Okay, oops, passed it. There we go. Toxico-industrial. Decrypt a heavily encoded message from a CEO trying to bribe ecological inspectors investigating water pollution issues. Help environmentalists uncover corporations plotting to profit from the destruction of Mother Nature. This one is a difficulty rating of hard. And we've only got that one hard one. Then we go back to moderate, then we go back to hard again. And they kind of switch back and forth from moderate to hard. And then we start getting into harders, which some of these took me a while. In fact, if I can remember, I think it was this one that took me forever to get through. In fact, when I mean forever, I think it took me over a month to try to figure it out. I was totally lost on what to do. But that's where we're heading next. So hang around, keep on coming to the channel, liking the videos, subscribe, definitely let me know what you want. We'll probably drill through, there's a bunch of these, but we're doing really good. And then I'm trying to figure out where I want to go next, whether I'm going to do the apps or I may even jump into stegos. Some of these stego missions are really difficult and completely different from what we're doing now, but they're still really fun, and we may even jump into some forensics ones too. So anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying this. Please let me know what I can do to help out, and until next time, this is Malik and I'm out.